Hello, Kamari people. How are y'all this afternoon? Basically, wanted to jump on and do a little quick show tonight, just so that everybody can kind of. I'm starting to get into practice of this to see how things go. Uh, Not a whole lot we're gonna do tonight. We had a good weekend. I know I told a lot of you that we were gonna do a bourbon and golf weekend. Well, this bag right here is from Uncle Nearest. And we're gonna break that out in a minute just to show you what we got. We got a new little glass here that I kind of trying to create, and also wearing a shirt that I created. So we're trying to get into the branding of Kamari, but let's just kind of jump on in. Went into Tennessee Friday night. Went to a little bourbon place called Bubba's. Nothing real special in there. It was right off the interstate, right down the street from the hotel. Uh, by the way, the hotel that I stayed at, whenever I do golf, I don't go for the expensive hotels, just something to kind of jump into, lay down, get up the next day, and go hit golf ball. So, I mean, it was a quality inn. I would suggest it though because it was a two it was a bedroom and then a sitting area that was kind of cool, but you'll find that kind of odd for a quality inn, but it was real nice in that situation. I got a little video that kind of goes into some of the stuff that we did. I was joined by a friend of mine, Brad Mincer. We've been together for, I guess he came to my first birthday party. So I guess that's 51 years. So that was pretty cool. We hadn't played together in a long time. He made the trip. He brought his frat brother, Steven Cephas. They've been friends since college. So it was a good outing in that situation. They're Kappas, so we had to have a little fun with that during the event. Like I said, we'll go over. I'm gonna play a little video that I kind of put together to show you the course. Brand and Steven kind of reviewed the course a little bit with me, and then we had lunch and drink at Uncle Nearest. And like I said, I have a gift that I got that I'm gonna show y'all a little bit later. Is what is probably one of the biggest things that I wanted when going to the distillery, Uncle Nearest Distillery. So I'll be showing you that. For those who don't know, Kamari Golf Kamari means gambler, and we kind of changed it from Kamari Golf to Kamari Bourbon and Golf because it's two things that kind of go together, sipping and swinging. So we're good, and that's kind of what I wanted to bring out. So since we're still kind of early in the deal, I wanted to go ahead and show you like a little put together video that I did to outline some of the places I visited. Indian Hills Golf Course was one of the. It was a pretty good golf course, and you'll hear the review of it in a few minutes. But I'm going to give you one of the tips that I gave Steven during the round, and it seemed to help him pretty good. So I'll give that at the end. So let me go ahead and play this video, and I'll get back with you right afterwards, and we'll do some talking and chatting and see where we go from there. That is the uh, liquor store that I went to. That is one of the holes. I think it's hole number 4. And what you're gonna see now is you're gonna see, I believe, Brad and his swing. Um, that was a pretty cool deal. And let's see, it's coming up in just a second. Here's old Brad.
Sure, it's a good one, Mr. Muscle.
As always, when you play golf, you get some pretty good tidbits of information about the players. So I'll just kind of overview it, but you'll hear some of the real conversations in the back in that situation. Now, Brad's been playing about as long as I have, so we kind of grown together in golf. So you can't see it
Down
in
the
there. We don't
middle.
have shot tracker and all that kind of cool stuff, but that's pretty much down the middle. So it was my turn on a different hole, and This is not the
So
prettiest swing I
Brand is
had
in the
because I
tee
saw
box.
Brand kind of try and come out of his
He's really
shoes,
wanting to
so I
play
had to
this
do
left
something
to right,
similar.
but I think he's going to push it straight down the middle. Very nicely done there, Mr. Bland. And he congratulated himself.
All right, Kamari people, we played. That's Brand. He's preoccupied.
Hey, how you doing?
Pitiful.
Yeah.
Anyway, we played Indian Hills today, and this is a review of Indian Hills. Pretty course. Would you all agree?
Beautiful course.
Yes.
Atmosphere is outstanding.
It had rained, and we could not really tell that it had rained except for in certain areas. Would y'all say that it's a tough track?
The back nine is definitely way more difficult than the front.
Absolutely, absolutely. What would you say?
I agree. And also the reading the greens is pretty difficult because they're very potato chippy.
Yeah, lots of undulation in the green.
That's the first time I've ever heard him use it. Potato chippy. You might get the quote. I mean, you might get to keep that one going
Yeah,
from there.
undulations is an overused word.
Yeah, potato chippy. I like that. So we're now sitting. I go up a little bit at Uncle Nearest Distillery. This is known as the biggest bar in the world.
About the same size as the one in my house, but we'll go with that.
I tell you the truth, boy. This group right here was a nut today. But having our drinks, we're gonna give a little bit of a overview of Uncle Nearest Distillery after this. But just wanted to jump in and talk a little bit about the golf course itself. Because it had rained, it was a little soft, and it was pretty easy to hold the greens. Other than that, it was a pretty good day out, and it's only about 15 minutes from a distillery, so I don't think this was a bad trip overall.
Great trip, good idea, good friends. We're in a great atmosphere. The golf course, even with all the rain, held up very well. The houses are outstanding. You should really go just to ride around and look at some of the homes in that community. It was very nice.
By the way, that's Brad Mincer.
Steven Stevens.
Oh, hey Steve. Anyway, the situation also is. So I know it's a rough video, but the main thing that I wanted to do was to kind of give people an understanding of what we actually experienced. Being in a situation where you can go from playing golf to being at a distillery was an awesome experience. Um, really enjoyed the drink at the end. It was awesome. Every drink, not every drink that they have is Uncle Nearest, but as you can imagine, it's all Uncle Nearest based type products. We had wings that had a barbecue sauce with Uncle Nearest in it, and it was probably the best wing and barbecue sauce that we've had. So my biggest suggestion is if you have an opportunity to go to the Uncle Nearest Distillery, definitely give it a go. And since we're on Uncle Nearest, I am going to take this, which is it's a bag that they give you. Now, my prize and what I wanted to go to Uncle Nearest for was pretty much to get the master blend, and it was pretty cool. But they have, let me show you what they do. So they wrap it. That was pretty cool. So this is one of those bottles that you get that you know you're gonna have that's gonna hang around for a while. So what I did was I had my name put on it, and it's the Master Blend for Uncle Nearest. It is 119 proof, blend number 026, and it was done by the master distiller V. Edie Butler. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but it's actually handwritten by Ms. Butler in that situation. You can only get this by going to the Uncle Nearest Distillery. So that was one of the biggest things. Now we're gonna crack this open and do a review on it pretty soon, but I wanted to just break it out today, let people know what we got and how it was being at the distillery in that situation. All right, so tonight we had, by the way, last week we talked about Elijah Craig, still a great liquor. It's a private label. This one was a private label, single barrel. Single barrels are pretty much the same, but the private barrel was the unique piece that made me decide to buy this particular one. It tastes great. It's a high proof liquor. It's 131.6, probably a little higher than what I needed in that situation, but it has been fun um, kind of tasting it and being a part of it. So I love the taste of this particular liquor being a single barrel. So it's going to be around for a while. Now, we got three that we can choose from tonight. And if you're in the chat, why don't you put in the chat which one you think we need to work on and taste tonight to get an idea of what it what it might taste like and what we might be looking at for going forward. We have single barrel select with Jack Daniels. Most popular is Buffalo Trace, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. We have an Eagle Rare in that situation. And we won't do the Elijah Craig again tonight. We'll just do one of those three. So go ahead and put something in the chat and let's see what everybody thinks and what they want us to work on tonight. Again, if you're looking for uh, one of these particular liquors, it is actually available most of the time at the TJ's, which is, like I said, a friend of, well, not a friend of mine, but somebody that I went to. They had all kinds of this stuff just pretty much in stock. I had a fraternity brother that said he was going to drive up and we were going to try and see about getting together and going over there. I've corresponded with uh, the owner of TJ's. I'm going to try and get them to do an interview with me so that we can kind of see what we can do to get people to know more about some of the harder liquors to find. As you can see, I'm still working out the layout of the office and the set, and we're working on getting a cabinet and other things so that you can kind of let us know what you want to see and what you want to do. I also am working with Scott Parker, who is in charge of, he owns the rights to the Alabama Golf Week Amateur Tour. So we're going to try and see if we can get him on to talk about being a member of the golf tour in Alabama and how that works with going to other states and playing, and how you can qualify for the end of the year uh, national championship. So a lot of things that we got coming. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna save the Buffalo Trace and the Eagle Rare, and we're gonna go with tonight. Let's see, it's 47%, so that'd be 94 proof. So, in case you didn't know, you can tell how much alcohol is in a bottle based on the percent alcohol by volume. It, like in the case here, it's 47%, so you just multiply that by two, and you get the proof for that particular bottle of liquor. So this one was bottled on 4/18 of 22. It's a Jack Daniel's single barrel select. Let's open it up and see what we got. I've had Jack Daniels before, and I've had the bottle and bond. And when I tell you it is smooth, It is a great experience. So I'm hoping that this will be on the same par or better. Use a little golf lingo there. Ooh, good bottle pop. Let me see. Get some of this plastic off here. Here we go. Put it on down. In the new glass with the logo on it. Let's see what we got here. Now this one, as far as the initial nose, isn't as strong as the 131 proof, obviously because it's not as strong of a proof overall. So it doesn't bite you when you first smell it. Still hangs out in the nose a little bit, but doesn't bite you. It's got a nice little smooth taste to it. This one doesn't hit your tongue as hard initially, and it's a lot smoother and has a little bit of a caramel feel to it. So it feels better, smells better, and you could probably sip on this a lot longer because of how it goes into the mouth and the mouth feel in that situation. So overall, this is a pretty good liquor in that situation. Oh yeah, yeah, that's a lot smoother. It's probably a good proof at 90 some 94%. So that'll do you. Now, one of the things from a golf standpoint that we talked about, I told you, I promised you I'd tell you a little bit about what was kind of learned over the weekend when Steve, he's been playing golf for a long time, and we had fun because he was worried. Well, not worried. He was hitting the ball to the right, wasn't always out of bounds, wasn't always in the fairway. It was just every now and then it go to the right. So one of the things that a lot of golfers tend to miss is just play with what you have for that day. So if you've been pulling them left or you seem to have a draw, Brand, I've been playing with him forever. And he has a fade, just a natural fade. He can hit the ball 400 miles, it seems like, but it's always going to be a natural fade. Well, over time, he hadn't played much and he had a draw for that day. Well, he was used to aiming left and letting the ball come right. But today, on Saturday, he was actually having to aim a little bit more right where the ball would naturally draw back in and end up on the left side of the fairway. And he just played it. I mean, and that's the same thing that Steve did towards the end of the round. He got comfortable with consistency in that situation. A lot of golfers aim at the flag knowing that they're probably going to go either left to right or right to left more than just a couple of yards. So if you know that, go ahead and aim 15, 20, 30 yards left if it's going to be a hard fade, or 15, 20 yards right if you know you have a almost a little bit of a hook, but it's a draw in that situation. If you do that, you're at least compensating for what your swing is for that day and just keep that swing. Keep doing what you're doing. And you'll start seeing those golf scores start coming down almost immediately because you'll be in the fairway more. You'll probably hit more greens. And then it becomes chipping and putting. And that's just stuff that you can work on at home. But big tip was work with what you're seeing for that day. Don't try and go from a draw to a fade or a fade to a draw because you're not you're working on a game which should be something when you get out on the golf course that should be automatic at that point in time. So that was kind of the tip that we all kind of learned because I was hitting a little bit of a draw, but I've been trying to work on a fade lately. So it kind of straightened out on me, and I didn't have to aim as far right as I typically do. Uh, Once again, we tried tonight the Jack Daniels Single Barrel Select. If you're looking for a good bourbon to just sip and chill with, this is a good bourbon. Smooth, it's not a high proof liquor. And actually, ladies, you might actually like this one because it doesn't hit you with a bitterness or anything of that nature. It's a smooth liquor that you could probably withstand in that situation. Now, I know last week they asked what did Glenda drink. Glenda doesn't do bourbon right now. She may, but this is a good bourbon if you want to just sit back and relax. I'm starting to. I ran this by Brand and Steve a little bit, but it looks like we'll be saying stuff like sipping and swinging as far as the Kamari logo. So maybe we can get some shirts and some stuff out a little bit later on to talk about that. But for the most part, that's pretty much what I had for tonight. And at some point, we'll break open the Uncle Nearest Master Blend. I'm told that this is a great liquor slash bourbon, excuse me, to really get into. But it's like this is one of those special bottles that you don't. I know I won't be throwing this bottle away. I might throw some of the other ones away, but I will not be throwing away the Uncle Nearest Master Blend. So anybody got any questions? I'll look into the chat and see what we got. Anybody got any questions on either golf or bourbon, or just want to make a comment, or just let me know that you're out there, and I'll see if we can get that going. Let's see here. Don't see anything right now. But we got a few people that are hanging out with us. Thank you for that. Don't forget to subscribe and like so that you'll get our new content when it comes out. But we'll work on the newer content next week. Like I said, I'd like to try and get some guests to join in on the live stream so that you can ask the people what they do, bourbons that they like, and or some golf tips. So once again, thank y'all for joining me tonight. You didn't have to, and I appreciate it. And we'll try and do this again next week. Same time, same place. Thank y'all. Have a wonderful night.